All right, let's jump right in. In the next few minutes, we're going to build your professional business writing toolkit from the ground up. We'll pull the best ideas from Chapter 13 to give you everything you need to communicate with real clarity and impact. Ready? Let's get started.
So, here's how we're going to build this toolkit. First, we'll lay the foundation, the why. Then we'll stock it with the essentials, grammar and word choice. After that, we'll look at the blueprint for how to use those tools, check out the final products you can create, and then add that final professional polish.
Okay, first things first. We're starting with the absolute foundation. I mean, before we can even talk about how to write well, we really need to get why it's so critical in pretty much any business you can think of.
And that's a fair question, isn't it? Talking is almost always faster. It feels more natural. But if you only ever talk, you're actually missing out on some huge advantages that writing gives you.
So what you're seeing here is a classic trade-off. On one hand, writing gives you control. It's more formal, it creates a permanent record, and you can edit it until it's perfect. But the downside? You lose that immediate feedback. You send it out into the world, and you don't always know if anyone even got it, let alone how they reacted.
So to make sure your writing actually gets read and acted on, you need to remember this one thing. Every reader is subconsciously asking, what's in it for me? That's where this AVRFM principle comes in. Added value and results for me. Get straight to the point and tell them the benefit right up front. It's the key to grabbing their attention.
All right, our foundation is solid. Now it's time to start filling up that toolkit with the real nuts and bolts. And these are the things you just can't skip. Good grammar and smart word choice.
Now, I know this looks like a throwback to English class, but think of these as the raw materials you use to build everything. Getting these fundamentals right, well, that's what makes you sound credible. It's what separates a professional from an amateur.
And once you've got the grammar down, you have to be super careful with the words you pick. That industry jargon that makes perfect sense to you and your team, to a client, it might as well be another language. It just builds a wall, and your job is to build a bridge.
Which brings us to probably the most powerful rule in all of business writing, the KISS principle. Keep it short and sweet. You have to remember, people are busy. Being clear and concise isn't just good writing, it's a sign that you respect your reader's time.
Okay, so we've got our foundational tools. Now we need the instructions, right? The blueprint. This three-step process is your secret weapon for creating great documents every single time.
And it's as simple as it looks. Plan, draft, and then edit. If you follow this order, you'll never waste time editing a messy first draft, or even worse, sending out something that's full of mistakes. It's a simple but powerful system.
In that first step, planning, pretty much everything comes down to one simple question. Who are you talking to? Your audience determines everything. Your tone, the format you choose, how much detail you include. You wouldn't write to your boss the same way you'd write to a brand new customer, right? Now, when it's time to draft, just let it flow. Seriously, this is not the time to worry about the perfect word or a little typo. Your only job is to get the main ideas out of your head and onto the page. You can make it pretty later.
And this is your quality control for that make it pretty stage. For things like letters and memos, a checklist like this is a lifesaver. It makes sure you've hit all the professional marks before anyone else lays eyes on it.
And of course, email has its own set of rules. What's really important here is the focus on action and etiquette. Is it totally clear what you want the reader to do? And oh yeah, did you actually attach the file you said you were attaching? We've all made that mistake.
Okay, so let's see how this all comes together. With our toolkit and our blueprint, we can now start building all the different kinds of communication you'll need, from a super formal letter all the way to a quick text.
For those really formal moments, the classic business letter is still your best bet. It has this very clear, expected structure you see here. Following this format isn't just about being old-fashioned. It's about showing respect and making sure your message is taken seriously.
Memos, though, are the real workhorses inside a company. They're perfect for creating a paper trail after a decision has been made or for following up after a meeting. They just make sure everybody on the team has the same information.
But you know, when speed is everything, nothing, and I mean nothing, beats texting. Get a load of this number. 95% of texts are read within the first 3 minutes. Think about that for a second. That level of speed is incredibly powerful, but you've got to be careful with it. And that speed comes with a big warning sign. Texting a client is not the same as texting your friend. So please, no writing in all caps. It looks like you're shouting. And definitely save the emojis and stuff like LOL for your personal chats. You still have to be a professional.
Which brings us to the last tool in our kit, and honestly, it might be the most important one. This is the professional polish. The right tone can make your message land perfectly, but the wrong tone can sink it before it even has a chance.
A huge part of getting the tone right is using the active voice. Just look at the difference here. The team completed the report is strong, it's direct. The other one, the report was completed. It just sounds weaker, a little bit evasive, doesn't it?
So here's the key takeaway. You have to build your tone on purpose. You create that positive vibe by using words like you and we. And even if you have to deliver bad news, you can soften it by starting with a buffer and making sure the customer knows you still value them.
You see, every single time you sit down to write, you're making a choice. With this toolkit, you now have the process, the grammar, and the polish to make sure every email, every memo, every single thing you send is a win. The choice is yours.